Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Okay, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, verse 31. The creation of the fourth order. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tvanmaya yada jana isha kandito yadan yad asasta ritat mano buddha yata kared bala hitam pita svayam tatatvam eva rashi nasamhitu samihitum. Translation. My Lord, due to your illusory energy, all living entities in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position, and out of ignorance, they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you, but as a father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son, please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me. Purport. It is the duty of the son to depend on his father without asking anything from him. The good son has faith that the father knows best how to benefit him. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for material benefit, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. The pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord takes charge of him, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 1866. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayeshami. The Father knows the necessities of the Son and supplies them, and the Supreme Lord knows the necessities of the living entities and supplies them sumptuously. Therefore, the Ishupanishad states that everything in this material world is complete, Purnamidam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness, the living entities create unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in material activities. The result is that there is no end to material activities, life after life. Before us, there are varieties of living entities, and everyone is entangled in transmigrations and activities. Our duty is simply to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and let him take charge, for he knows what is good for us. Prithu Maharaj therefore tells the Lord that as the Supreme Father, he may elect to bestow whatever he considers beneficial for Prithu Maharaj. That is the perfect position of the living entity. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us in his Shikshashtaka, Na Danam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishvari Bhagavatad Bhaktir Ahoitiki Tai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I have any desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. The conclusion is that the pure devotee does not aspire after any material benefit from devotional service, nor should he be enamored by fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. He should always be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. So a very nice verse here in purport describing how a pure devotee of the Lord doesn't ask anything from the Lord, materially speaking. He knows and has confidence in the Lord that he'll supply everything that he needs according to his spiritual position. And he doesn't need to ask anything from the Lord. He just fully surrenders and says, whatever you think's the best, Lord, I just accept that. And whatever you give me, I will accept. And whatever you don't give me, I'll be happy in either situation. It doesn't matter if the Lord supplies material benefits, or even, you may be surprised here, it says, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. So that means that he's completely dependent on the Lord giving him what he needs spiritually. He just waits for the Lord to give him whatever spiritual benefits he requires, or according to his desire. The Lord supplies that. But sometimes we see that devotees are praying to the Lord for spiritual benefits. Please, engage me in your devotional service. Please, bestow upon me a taste for chanting, etc. So because we're not on that pure platform yet, we need to pray to the Lord for these things so we can attain them. And we need the Lord's help. So that level of surrender is different to the level of surrender in a pure devotee, where he doesn't even ask for anything beneficial, spiritually speaking. So to come to that level of purity, we need to be asking the Lord and surrendering in that way, and asking him to bestow upon us, a taste for chanting the holy names, or please provide me some service, or whatever it is. Please, remove these unwanted material desires from my heart, etc. So, we're asking the Lord for these things because we need them. And the Lord knows that also. So we, in the earlier stages of devotional service, we need to ask for these things. So it's a level of surrender that we need to partake in. We can't just depend on ourselves all the time and think, oh, well, if I just, it's up to me completely if I chant with purity, for instance. And that's true to a certain degree, that we have to put in the effort to chant nicely and with devotion. But ultimately, the Lord bestows upon us attraction and attachment to chanting the holy names. He bestows upon us Krishna Prem. He bestows upon us the taste for chanting. All these are bestowed upon us by the Lord. But because we're making that effort to attain that, the Lord responds and he reciprocates like that. And he also reciprocates with our desire to serve him in some capacity. So the Lord, he's supplying all these things for us according to our desire and according to our effort that we put in, and our desire and our sincerity. So we always have to be developing that within ourselves, this desire to make advancement. We need to cultivate this desire to make advancement. And we need to realize that there's no happiness in this material world, and the only happiness we can get is from the spiritual energy. We can't ever get anything like that in the material world. So, we don't want to become entangled and ask the Lord for material benefits. We don't want to do that. Please, Lord, give me a nice house and a nice car and, a big bank balance. Those things we don't need. Although the Lord can supply those things, we don't ask for them. And if they come, we know that the Lord is supplying that, and we have to use that correctly for the Lord's service. We can't be just using those facilities for sense gratification. And when the Lord sees that we have these attachments to the material energy, even if He supplied these material facilities, if He's merciful, He'll take them away, as we talked about before. So we have to be very careful to avoid that, unnecessarily asking the Lord for, material benefits. Although we see that devotees will ask the Lord for spiritual benefits, but in the pure devotee won't do that. He doesn't need to do that. He already has spiritual benefits. So we just need to relax, in a sense, and let the Lord take charge of our lives spiritually. And we don't need to get into anxiety about things, because we know the Lord's controlling everything all the time. So whenever we get into a seemingly materially sort of disturbing situation, we just need to say to the Lord, thank you for allowing me to surrender. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to surrender to you and take shelter of you. And then we're free from anxiety then, because we're realizing that the Lord's controlling things, and these are tests for us, and we don't need to become disturbed by them. Just like many of these great devotees previously, especially Prahlad Maharaj, was put through many tests, put into so many materially disturbing situations, and he just always surrendered to the Lord and prayed to the Lord for protection, and he always got that. So we have all these great examples, and of course this example that we're talking about here, Prithu Maharaj, another example of someone who surrendered in a different way. He's not asking for anything. In fact, he's rejecting some of the benedictions the Lord is offering him, and he's just saying, I surrender to you. I don't need these benefits. I just, as Prabhupada mentions in the end here, I just want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So that's all we need. Devotees just need devotional service. They just need to be able to remember the Lord and to serve the Lord and to surrender in some way to the Lord. That's very simple, but not easy to attain. So at the end of the purport here, Srila Prabhupada says that a pure devotee doesn't aspire for any material benefit from devotional service. So he doesn't want any benefits, he doesn't have this idea that if I serve the Lord, I'll get something in return. He'll give me a nice house or a nice situation. I won't have to worry about money. I'll be fine. And that happens automatically. You'll see devotees mostly when they surrender to a lot of service, if they're fully engaged in service, the Lord always looks after them. And usually they're very, very simple devotees. They don't have this need to have great facilities, amazing, opulent facilities. They're quite happy to live very simply. But the Lord always looks after them. They survive life no problem, materially speaking, because the Lord always just gives them what they need. And so the highest perfection is to just be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. And that's all we need to do. We just need to somehow engage in service in some way, starting with the chanting of the holy names and in other ways, serve the devotees and make advancement. That's about all I can think of to say about that one. If you wanted to add something, or someone else wants to add something.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rasika Prabhu. I think again and again it's good to remind ourselves about the importance of trusting that the Lord will protect and He'll show a way for us to execute devotional service. Ruchi Mataji, Hari Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I don't know if you had the class for the past 4 days.
I was not there for 2 days. I don't know before that what happened.
Okay.
On Monday we read.
Yeah, it was
On
just Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, does someone else want to read the next verse?
Yeah, I can read. Should I read? I can't hear.
Yes, Mataji, please read. Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Maitreya Uvacha iti adirajena nutasa vishwadrak tam aha rajanmai bhaktir astute dishte drishi dharmai te kritaya mayam madhyam tarati sma dushtayajam. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued by saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prithu Maharaj's prayer, addressed the king, "My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose as you yourself very intelligently express can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya." Purport. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord claims that the illusory energy is insurmountable. No one can transcend the illusory energy of Maya by fruitive activities, speculative philosophy, or mystic yoga. The only means for transcending illusory energy is devotional services. The Lord Himself states, "Mam eva ye prapadyate mayam etam tarantite." If one wants to cross over the ocean of material existence, there is no alternative than to take to devotional service. A devotee therefore should not care for any material position, whether in heaven or in hell. A pure devotee should always engage in the service of the Lord, for that is his real occupation. Simply by sticking to that position, one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. I'll say whatever I understand from this. Can you scroll up, please, so I can see the whole verse where we started? So, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's just the verse and then the translation. So here Maitreya is saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prithu Maharaj's prayer, addressed the king and wishes to him that, "My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose as you yourself very intelligently express can one cross over the insurmountable energy of Maya." So I remember once when I was having a discussion with a devotee that why doesn't God give us the ability to be powerful and to be creating what we need ourselves, and to like be to have all the powers and to be able to exercise those powers ourselves. So so yes, that person very nicely explained to me, because then we would be destroying ourselves, because like um if somebody who cannot see the big picture is trying to uh let's say a very powerful energy, then the chances of destruction are higher than actually constructively making out something out of it. So that is what is over here written, that the Lord claims that the illusory energy is insurmountable because it is his energy, and it can therefore be only controlled by him, and we cannot have his powers to control it. So it's like somebody makes somebody in some of the scriptures we hear that there was this sage, and he had the powers to uh, chant several mantras out of which he could give put life in any um, being that he created. So he was taking pity on animal, and then he um, it was actually a small mouse, and he was seeing the seeing the pity of that mouse, that this mouse keeps getting scared by the cat, and then the cat keeps getting scared by the bigger animals, and the bigger animals keep getting scared by the tiger. So he decided to give the mouse the shape of the tiger, and he did that. He made him into a tiger, and then the tiger was trying to attack him because he changed he cannot change his um what do you call propensity. And so the propensity of the mouse changed to the propensity of a tiger. And so it is very difficult to control this energy until one is situated at a very high level. So that is why it is written that it is not possible to transcend this illusory energy of Maya by fruitive activity, like how people in, of course, the um, many great inventions of our age have been made simply by fruitive activities, which is like all the comforts that we have had today. And the world is a much better place than it was before. Now we can study in the dark, we can read on Zoom, we can discuss all this even when we are not meeting, and we can a lot of the the mundane activities are much easier, like we don't have to cut down the trees and literally make fire and make food every time. We can just heat something in the microwave, and endless amounts of inventions which have made life easier for the human being as such, to be able to focus on higher things has been possible by fruitive activity, which is also the energy of God. But um, the very high, the very high energy we are talking about, the of creation, the energy of like putting life into a being, or by creating a human being or something like that by our will, might not prove to be constructive. Um, and the speculative philosophies are also many, like people are speculating, like I just read, that we can have life on Mars or we can have life on other planets, which is good because it is we should explore our ability as human beings to the highest level. That is something which is why God made us, to utilize our talents to the fullest ability. And we should do that, but it does not mean that we give up the basic tenet of we give up the base tenet of servitude to the Lord and our relationship with Him, and also our basic constitution in relationship to Him. Because no matter how big we grow, He will be bigger. Because we understand our past and future, we cannot understand what is going on another person's mind, even if we develop mind reading softwares or other things, but we cannot see the very big picture of things. And that is why we have to be aware of our position and then do things as service for the Supreme Being and for the human race, instead of thinking that we are the master. So that with that tenet, if we have that in mind, then we can definitely, whatever we do would be positive. So so that is what he's saying that the only means for transcending illusory energy is devotional service, which is done with the right attitude and not for gaining anything. Gaining anything is also good because we can know what we want, only because God maybe somehow we should tell God what we want, but and if He thinks it fit to give it to us, because um, we are human beings and we all have desires to. It is at a very high level to reach the desireless state. So, but asking from God is better than asking from other people. So, so he is saying that in Bhagavad Gita, that if one wants to cross over the ocean of material existence, there is no alternative than to take to devotional service. Because if we try to figure out a way to get out of this material existence, it is not possible, because I guess he is saying so, that there is no alternative to take to devotional service, which means that we have to basically do everything as a servant of God, as a um, in the spirit of servitude. Whatever we do, that we are doing it um, so that we can prove to Him we are servants and the Master, and we are doing it as a offering to Him. And we should not care for any material possession, whether in heaven or in hell, because we see many times when even Lord Indra or even people, even other demigods who have attained very high positions by virtue of their credits, by virtue of their meritorious, of their credits, they also fall down many times. They have suffered a lot. It's like what they say, the bigger they are, the higher they are, the bigger the fall. So to save ourselves from that, um, from all those downfalls, because we have taken many births and we have seen that it's a constant cycle of doing tapasya, then rising to the left, demigods, then falling down, then suffering again, then again, trying to do the tapasya and then fall down again until and unless one takes to servitude and devotional service. We will not be able to cross this ocean of material existence. We will keep on rising up by virtue of our meritorious credits and again falling down because of ego. So and even in hell, we should not care for any material possession. That, you know, even in hell, we might think that, okay, we have all this. Hell is actually a place where there is no realization of God and our relationship to Him. It is not an actual physical place. It is a place where we put ourselves when we go against the divine will of God, which is like the divine will is actually where we are not trying to be sovereign. Instead of that, we are trying to make it better for other people, being empathetic for others, because there is a story that says that there were these people in hell and heaven, and the only difference was in heaven they had big sticks and they were trying to, they put the big spoons, I think I've heard it, trying to feed each other across the table, whereas in hell they were trying, they had the same condition, that they had the spoons tied to their hands, the big spoons, but instead of helping others, they were trying to feed themselves. So that is the only difference, when we are not empathetic to other beings, that we could have been in the position where this person, fallen down person is, and we should try to help that person, but it's not so easy. Own realization, I have realized that until and unless we pray to God, it is not possible for us to be in a position where we can help other beings. Instead, I have at least felt that I just fall down bigger and harder, because all we can do is pray for the person and ask God, and because we are ourselves fallen, that's what I feel, at least me, for myself, I'm speaking. So a devotee should always engage in the service of the Lord, for that is his real occupation. So all these people who are trying to help other people by doing good deeds is a good thing, but we should actually engage in the service of the Lord, because that is a real occupation. Simply by sticking to that, now it's not possible for every to do service in the temple, but we can follow the given in Bhagavad Gita, that at least surrender the fruits of your actions to me. So we all can do that in every sphere of our lives. So simply by sticking to that position, one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. So we are actually being given the keys, because we must have served the Lord in some or the other form. We are being, it's like He is now giving us the keys to come out of the cycle of birth and death, and the cheat sheet in Srimad Bhagavatam giving us that we've been through all this thing many times, and we need to liberate ourselves at least, so that we can help others. So that was my understanding of the verse.
Very nice. Thank you, Ruchi Mataji. Just to keep reminding ourselves that we have to please the Lord, try to please the Lord. So should we pause here for today? It's 5:40. Any
Yeah, we could
final
do that.
comments?
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like this sentence. The devotee, therefore, should not care for any material position, whether in heaven or hell. I was thinking that, whether we're in the heavenly planets or here on in the middle planets, the earth, or in the hellish planets, nothing is disturbing to the mind of a devotee. He's not hankering for any position, especially in the heavenly planets, where it's very opulent. There's so many distractions and material opulence there. Or, he's not lamenting in the hellish planets because he knows he's got the Lord's protection, and he knows that he can engage in service somehow. So it doesn't matter where he is. He just wants to engage in the service of the Lord. So I was thinking, because especially in the heavenly planets, it's a real so opulent there that you could get easily distracted away from devotional service, and start enjoying, especially, you might want to take the position of Indra, for instance, or, take some high position.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So we just
Yeah, we'll pause here for today
pause.
and we'll again continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki